Guys, so this is a video I have been hoping to make for a while. Well, this may come as a surprise because I'm such a fantasy lover, but I have never seen The Lord of the Rings. I've never read The Lord of the Rings until last night. So a few weeks ago, I texted my friend, actually her husband is the one that's in a lot of videos with me, and said, I've never seen The Lord of the Rings. Would you guys ever want to watch them together? And she said, yeah, that'd be fun. So last night I went to their house and we watched just the first one. We're gonna watch the other ones later. And I thought about, do I want to wait and make the video until I have all three? I've seen all three, or do I want to make like one on each video? And I just want a video on each movie, and I decided to do the latter because one thing, we're not gonna be able to watch the other movies for like after the holidays, and also and also sorry, I was gonna say also I feel like, considering how long my video on 6 hours worth of movies was, I think my opinion on like 10 hours worth of movies could get really, really long. So I'm just going to talk about the first one today. Okay, first of all, I'm going to talk about like the plots and stuff because I figure it's almost 20 years old. Granted, I haven't seen it, but I mean, I think it's very likely that if you've probably seen it by now if you're going to. But if not, I'm going to go delve into spoilers. So yes, I loved it. First of all, say that I loved it. It was so good. The acting is phenomenal. Oh, Sean Astin is so good. And so is Elijah Wood. Oh, hold on. I think I'm gonna pull up the actors' names just because it'll make it easier. Because I want to get the names right. Hold on. This is how organized I am. So yeah, Elijah Wood, Ian McKellen, Viggo Mortensen. Oh, Viggo Mortensen. Splendid. Very just splendid. Oh, I don't know why, but I mean, I do know why, because these actors are really good looking, but I was just like, oh, he's cute. Oh, he's so cute. Sean Bean. I love Sean Bean. It's kind of funny to see him play a good guy because he's the bad guy in National Treasure, which is another one of my favorite movies, and so it's kind of funny to see him play as a good guy. Like, I keep wanting to say Ian, even though of course his name is Lorimer. Pippin Took and Mary Brandon, is that their names? Oh, their actors are just phenomenal. I remember at the beginning of the movie, when they're having Bilbo's birthday party, they're like climbing up and they're gonna look at the firework and they're taking a firework and stuff and all that kind of stuff. And I said to Seth and Christy, who I was watching with, I said, it's not really a question of are they going to get into trouble, it's more like how and when. And they started laughing and said, yeah, they're trouble. And they must, I don't know, and like the colors were just great. Even like the gray is really cool. The mountains, the gorgeous cinematography, and the water. I love the water of New Zealand. I mean, of course I've seen it like in the Chronicles of Narnia movies. I love the water. I think it's beautiful. And I don't know, I'm wondering if they did something to like enhance their eyes in the movie because they're blue-green, their eyes. Everyone had blue eyes. They were just like so bright and looked supernatural, but it's like, are you trying to play that up, or did you just like cast an entire like blue eye? Like, not everyone had blue eyes. I don't think I think Gandalf has like brown eyes or something, and so does Legolas's. I think that's the elf. I couldn't keep everybody straight, to be honest. But it's super good. It's super cool. And yes, and I am a Christian, so I see the spiritual principles of it. I'm sorry if you don't. I'm not sorry if you don't like that. I'm just. It's gonna happen. I'm gonna talk about it. And I loved the spiritual warfare. I loved seeing the battles. I loved seeing like Sauron was initially defeated, but he wasn't really. Like the spirit of Sauron still lives on, and that's such an example of how evil can never be killed, except by Jesus. And Satan is going to exist until, you know, the end of time. But Jesus, of course, is going to defeat him, as we see portrayed really well by between Aslan and the White Witch. I think one of my favorite scenes in the movie, definitely one of my favorite scenes. Well, there's two scenes I really liked. There's one scene that I loved. It's where I think the Elven King is explaining to the council or something about the ring, about the battle, and he said, you know, no, yeah, it was the elf. He was there that day, and he takes the king, I don't remember his name, into this Mount Doom, because that's where they are, and says, you need to drop this in. He begs him, please drop this in. You need to get rid of it. It's bad. You don't want it. And the guy decides to keep it. You know, because he wants power. And I saw such a spiritual principle there of how we might have someone in our lives coming along saying, get rid of the sin, cast it into the fire, you turn it over to Jesus, get away from it. And but we ignore it so often. We ignore this amazingly wise counsel, because the elves are like immortal beings, right? I think. Another scene that I really liked is in, I think it's the Dwarven Cave or something. Yeah, I think it's in the Dwarven, like the mines, but it's basically become a tomb. And Gandalf sends them all across the bridge, and like this demon is rising up, and he says, no, you'll go no further. And he's just like, you know, he's casting at the light will overcome you, basically. And I saw such a spiritual principle, like, we as Christians can say, if you're a Christian, you have the same spirit that raised Christ from the dead living inside of you, and that means we get to say, no, demons, you're not welcome here, go, shoot, you're not shoot, in the name of Jesus, get out, because this house is covered by the blood. And it was so good. It was so moving. It was just a fantastic movie. Another thing I thought was so true, like going about the spiritual principles, is the ring itself, how it calls to them, and it's so like addicting. And it's kind of a commentary to me on like our desire for power, our desire for blood, our desire for whatever. Things we can't have. Yeah, it was really good. And again, yeah, the acting, the cinematography, the music. I loved the music so much. And just seeing like the ways they did things, like how they made the hobbits look so little, was really great. Excuse me. Yeah, it was really cool. Alright, well, we're on the subject of acting. Sorry, I'm kind of all over the place. So, Sean Astin. I love Sean Astin so much. I've seen him in a few other things, but one of the things I saw him in was an episode of Monk, which is like my favorite show. And he's actually the villain. He's the bad guy. He's the murderer. And he walks in, like, and we walk in, and we see him, like, he's the very first scene, and I'm like, oh, this is so cool. I love that actor. And then he kills his butler. And I'm like, oh, no. I like to like you. I only want to like you. And he was just this awful character. Well played. And I think he was kind of not really a villain in the other way, but just kind of not necessarily a nice man, at least not a nice man. So yeah, another one of my favorite quotes from the movie, and this is one of my friends too. It says, you know, when this is another scene that I love, when Frodo and Gandalf are having this conversation about, I think it's in the mine. There's just so much going on. It's hard to keep track. And he said, and Frodo says, I wish the ring never came to me. And Gandalf says, so do all who have been carried its burden. But that's not for us to decide. All there is for us to decide is what to do with the time. All there is to decide is what to do with the time that is given to you. And I just think that's just so beautiful. It's such a, you know, philosophical but kind of simple thought about how, you know, we've all been given gifts. We've all been given time. It's limited time on this earth, and what are we going to do with it? Are we going to waste it on ourselves? Are we going to waste it on things that don't matter? Or are we going to use it for God's glory? Or for God's glory, because it's really the only thing we're living for, is to glorify God. Another another thing, talking about gifts. Sorry, I'm filming in my bed, on my bed, and sometimes I think my camera moves a little bit. So sorry about that. Oh shoot. We're having technical difficulties. Please stand by. Anyway. Okay. So, another thing I loved and about it is, so during the council where they're all going through and talking about, sorry, I'm having trouble there. Where they're all going through and talking about, the Fellowship of the Ring, like being the Fellowship of the Ring or whatever, and like there's two humans, an elf and a dwarf, and they all go through and say, you have my sword, you have my bow, you have my axe, and I just think that is so cool. It's such a good example of, we all have different gifts. They all have different weapons. They all use them differently, because you fight differently with an axe than you do with a sword. And you definitely fight differently with either of those than you do with a bow. But we need all those things. And I think it's so cool to say, you know, it's such a cool example. We're not all good at the same things. We're not. But we need every weapon. We need every bow or sword or axe. We need all hands on deck. It's a team sport. So yeah. Honestly, I don't think there's anything about the movie that I didn't like. I can't think of anything off the top of my head. I mean, even the battles, it was necessary. And it's... and I also loved the Elven language. I loved everything about it, honestly. It's so good. And I'm really excited to watch the next two parts. Oh, by the way, funny story. So we watched the movie like last night, and they had kids, so we had to watch it after they went to bed. And I was coming home really late, at like 1:30. I left where I live, and I had like a 30-minute drive back to my house. And so it's dark, and I'm driving, and I was kind of tired because I was just tired. I was tired. It's late. It was in the country, and I'm looking down the road, like ways down the road, and I see headlights. I'm thinking, oh, okay, well, I'm a ways out. I don't need to turn down my brights yet. And then I happen to see, like right to the side, like if this is, the road is right here, and then like right here is this shadow. So like they're on this side of the road. and it looks almost like a person running, and then I get a little closer and it looks like, you know, those ring wraiths that like they're faceless and they're just like robes. And I had to tell myself the ring wraiths are real. It's okay. It's just your imagination. Don't worry about it. It's no big deal. But yeah. And I realized it was just a sign. It was like a do not pass sign. It was literally, and I laughed about it. But it was. And then I get home and I jump at like a pillow in a chair that looked like a person for a second. I wasn't scared. I was just a little bit jumpy. It was no big deal. It was late. You know, I was tired. But yeah. So it was really good. I'm really glad I watched it, because even if I never watch Lord of the Rings after this, like all 3 after I see them all, which I'm sure I will, at least I can see them. I will say, let's see. So Narnia versus Lord of the Rings. I don't think you can, I mean, you can compare them, but they're different in their own ways. They have unique things I love about both of them so far. One thing I think I don't know. I have mixed feelings about both. One thing I think I like about Narnia, and again, it might just be nostalgia, but if I'm in the mood, I want to read Lord of the Rings, I can read not Lord of the Rings. If I want to read the Chronicles of Narnia, I can get through the books in a week, probably. A week, 2 weeks at the tops, because they're 7 books. They're not that long. They're a very easy read. Versus Lord of the Rings is very, very wordy. It's very good. It's just very wordy. I read The Hobbit in school. I mean, but I literally have, hold on. I'm not going to show you right now because it's a big mess. But I have a bookcase over across from where I'm sitting, and I have the entire set, the 3 Lord of the Rings books and The Hobbit, and I've never read them because I think I started to read the first one. Not that I didn't like it. It was just so wordy. So I think the next project is going to be reading through the books, because I really want to see like if there's anything they left out in the movie. And I remember liking what I read. It just got a lot. I don't know why I didn't finish it. I just didn't. But it is, again, it is a masterpiece. It is beautiful. My camera's tipping over again. I'm just gonna hold it. But it was so good. I am so glad I watched it. And yeah, it was fun. And so yeah, let me know on what your thoughts are. Sorry, did you like it? Is there things you didn't like about it? Do you have favorite quotes or scenes? What's your favorite movie of the trilogy too? Because two people I was watching them. One is the third one is their favorite. One is the second one. And what's your favorite? I haven't seen them all, so I don't have a favorite yet. So let me know, and that'll be really fun. And yeah, we will. And yeah, I am working on some other videos, some plans for some other videos. Just have to get my ducks in a row, but those will be out soon. So yeah, bye guys.